So this episode obviously is on the back of the FA Cup weekend, and there's probably no other place to start other than Macclesfield knocking out the holders, Crystal Palace. It's the first time a non-league side has beat the holders or knocked them out in that first round since 1909, I believe. I didn't watch it, mainly because the American coverage possibly. I was also away this past weekend. I don't think either of you watched it, boys. Have you got any thoughts on the game and the occasion, maybe?
I was at Everton, so it actually kicked off the same time. So I think I've got a valid excuse. I also believe, in addition to your fact, the team that 1909, it was Crystal Palace who were the non-league team who knocked the other team out.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
So when Macclesfield win the cup next time, I think a non-league team will knock them out just to complete the cycle. I seen the highlights and it was like great story because obviously I think one of their players passed away recently. I don't know if you've seen that.
McLeod.
I think. So I think quite emotional, and I had no idea that till afterwards it was Wayne Rooney's brother who manages them.
No, I didn't know.
I saw the clip of him. With the fellas after him as the pundits, and he did a big boom. Yeah.
But it just feels like proper FA Cup, isn't it? Obviously, Macclesfield have had their own story of sort of like going under and happened to be brought back by Robbie Savage and people like that. So, statistically, I think as well, also the biggest shock is it maybe that in terms of like league places between them, National League North all the way up to Premier League. So it is mad, but I don't know what it is. But the FA just doesn't actually feel that sort of. It doesn't feel as monumental as what I imagine some of them would have done. I don't know.
I said on the podcast maybe a month or two ago, I think we were talking about like what football cliche don't you like, and I said the magic of the FA Cup was one that I don't really like anymore. I think I would say like it's not really valid, or it hasn't been valid for a long time. But you could almost say that this game would be that.
Yeah.
Right. But I would also say if this was, an Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United getting beat, maybe people would like harp on it a little bit more. I don't know what the media's like there because I just don't really get it apart from social media. But what has like the response been?
Sorry, good from you. I'd say.
No, I wasn't. I was almost going to agree. I almost think the FA Cup now has become a bit like, I don't know how many big teams especially care about it as much. But that Macclesfield one is obviously a standout. I was saying just before we came on, the guy who owns the company I work for has got stakes. He's a Macclesfield fan, so he was at the game. He actually offered tickets, so I could have gone, but I was at a birthday. They were all on the pitch and stuff, so sent like pictures of pitch invasions and stuff, and it was everything to them. And then me and Tosh have been on a pitch invasion together when Sheffield United got to the playoff final, and if it's anything as special as that, Sean was there. Sean actually turned up for that one though.
Yeah, part of the Harry Maguire on the back as well, didn't we?
Yeah, and Quinny.
Yeah, not quite as not made it as big.
To Quinny.
To Quinny. I think I don't know. I think that is magic. The FA Cup. I'm a big FA Cup fan. I think being at Everton, it's sort of. I think I was really disappointed with Everton just because of how lack of seriousness they showed in it, really. And I think, like you think of Macclesfield as a town. I have been to Macclesfield, and there can't have been much else going on that day because I don't reckon there's ever much going on in Macclesfield. But you think that whole town, I bet you like the kids, the primary school kids, and all things like that. That would have been a buzz, wouldn't it? So I think, as you say, Max, that would be a rare example these days of the magic of the FA Cup. But not quite as good as our day at Sheffield United.
No, very few things.
Never more to us.
Well, you said it.
Who are they playing? Quiz question.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it was Stevenage. Sheffield United Stevenage. Sean, I don't know if he was here.
When you say you think, obviously you know.
No, because we went. I won't get too much into the story because it's actually a non-story. But I think we've seen the same match twice in about 3 weeks. But yeah,
you were on the telly as well. That's saying, remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Wow, big stars.
Is Macclesfield's ground artificial? Was it turf?
I was going to say, I don't know where the ground is, the pitches. Yeah.
The pitches, obviously.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's one of them ones like Marine. So like the multi-use outfit. Yeah, I think it is. I heard someone saying that's certain.
Yeah, no, I think ultimately it's a big game, but like I think I was listening to Rest of Football this morning maybe, and Gary Lineker was talking about how back in their day winning the FA Cup meant more than anything, even winning the league, which I think is crazy. But I suppose like that has been the way it's gone. Really. I feel as if like the FA Cup was almost for all the big teams. I'll say this to Liverpool fans, it's almost like consolation. Like now, as a Liverpool fan, this season we're not going to win the league, might not win the Champions League, but if you can win the FA Cup, then you've made almost salvage the season.
Yeah, it's the money, isn't it? Like the money's obviously taking over. But I mean, for a club like Maxfield, I think they're going to get. I think it's £500,000 they're going to make or something, maybe more. That's obviously the difference in sort of surviving as a business and not, I suppose. But for like the big clubs, as you mentioned, it takes a back foot, even to like things like the Conference League and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think teams like would rather win that. In all honesty, I don't know if that's factual, obviously, but I would suggest so.
I think I'd go as far as Conference League, like, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. You're both right. Yeah, I think people do say that. Obviously, we weren't around. I think by the time we were growing up, the FA Cup probably wasn't as big. But I do think, like, people do say like there's teams who'd rather win the FA Cup than win the league. Like the FA Cup was the big thing and the big day, and yeah, it's just gone now. And again, it's even the other day that I'd say at the ground, Sunderland bring that's a big thing of the FA Cup. You obviously get a bigger allocation. Sunderland had 7,500 at Goodison. And it was just flat. Sunderland's fans were great. Everton were just flat when you seen the team and the way Everton started. And it's just like
I watched the Everton game.
That's not the FA Cup. That's the way Everton. Like my dad always talks to me about. Obviously, Everton when he was growing up had always had a decent FA Cup record, and he was saying like if Everton got Drew at home, it doesn't matter where you're in the league. Everton weren't getting knocked out at home because of the crowd. It's an FA Cup game, whereas everyone went there, seen the team, and thought, we're just going to get done here. And David Moyes thought that, but
I even think with things like the semi-finals being at Wembley and stuff like that, it just detracts from it all. Like it just, I don't know.
It used to be like the pinnacle of someone's career getting to Wembley, and now you've obviously got the FA Cup there, Carabao Cups there. It's like I don't know what the trophies are called in the lower leagues anymore, but Johnson's Paint Trophy, whatever that is called now. That's
still Wembley. It was Papa John's for a bit.
It was LDV Vans. It was as well. My cousin won that for York City. Played at Wembley, went up the steps and won that trophy, and he played in the non-league, and it's just everyone plays there.
Look at him now.
Still playing. Yeah. Even KSI and the Sidemen have played there. Letting anyone play. But I was the Everton game then. Tasha, was it you went out on penalties, didn't you?
Yeah. As I say, it was just I say my new one is David Moyes. He's doing a reasonable job at Everton, but the two things you can always say is he's never going to win an Anfield and he's never going to win a cup. And that's just like I always say. I've got a friend. I feel like I mention him every time on the podcast. He's a Forest fan. They obviously went out to Wrexham on the Friday night. Yeah. I'm sure Dyche is the same. Moyes had the spell for about 3 years at Everton, where obviously we got to a final, we got to a semi, and we got to a quarters. His record, apart from that, must be absolutely abysmal. Some of the teams we got knocked out to, and that the other day, I don't care where Sunderland are in the league, we should be knocking Sunderland out of cup at home. When you're not fighting,
absolutely shocking. I thought it was like,
and again, I was sat in the ground, and after 15 minutes, I said to my brother, I was like, "This is like we're a second division going away to a Premier League side. We played so badly. I had lots of players missing, so again, fair enough." And then the penalty. I don't know if you've seen the penalties, Max.
That's it, I did. Well, the penalties, just to touch on that, one of the lads in the pub said this would be the most Everton thing ever if we don't score any of the penalties. And it was like, I mean, the first one, obviously, the one Tiano Barry hit is so like, we just lever it, mate. You're desperate to score you. He does a little run up and a little, it's just so shocking.
But I've never seen like people leave, like if you stay for the penalty shootout and not staying to the end. As soon as Everton missed the second penalty, everyone started going. It's like you stayed for the penalty shootout, you know it, and especially when we were 2-0 down after 2. But like everyone was just going. You think, like, that's just mad. But again, as soon as like we missed the first one, and then it was 1-0, and then you seen Barry walking up, and you were like, oh my god. And then you 2-0 down, and then you see Beto walking up.
Yeah,
and as you said,
as well.
Having just seen Barry do that, just absolutely welly. It's
think the other co-host is obviously too yellow to come on today. He mentioned that you've got the worst strike partnership potentially ever, and I actually do agree with him for once that is, I mean, they are so bad then too. It's ridiculous.
I mean, if Sean had the cojones to turn up, I'd probably agree with him. But no, I actually said Beto. I've sort of given a chance. Beto, no, you take a goal kick and you know Pickford's going to go long or whatever. Beto can't like stand within like 30 foot of where it's going to land. No, he can, like, he always can't get anywhere near it. I just think, like, how can it? I just don't get it. You know, now I just seeing it. He was horrendous, and it's got to the point where like that Barry comes on, and you actually think, oh, he looks all right, just because he's actually moving with the ball.
Yeah,
but he's terrible as well.
Just like to point out that we are live on Twitch at the moment, and there might be a certain yellow-bellied host watching along. So
he is. Yeah, he's messaged on the chat. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
he hasn't got the guts to come on live. He's messaging in private on the chat. Oh God! So if I had him in this room now, I'd give him one.
Another game from the weekend was Spurs Aston Villa. I haven't really watched any of the footy apart from Liverpool's highlights, but I saw there's a little bit of a scrap at the end between some of the players, and my Spurs supporting friend who I work with, I asked him, did you watch the game? He said no, he went to the movie theatre instead. He's at a point now with Spurs where he doesn't know what to do. How long is Thomas Frank going to last? Is he going to be the next manager sacked?
I don't know. I feel like he's a good manager, and don't think anyone would doubt that. Like, the job he did at Brentford was obviously fantastic. Spurs is just that club that are just like, it's just a poison chalice, more so than anything else. I think like they just signed that Gallagher, haven't they? I think is a good signing, but Simon Jordan on Talksport was talking about him and just like, is he going to elevate them really to like where they want to be? No. Is he going to make a tiny bit of difference? Probably, yeah, but he's such a Spurs signing him. Like, he's going to go into that midfield and be ineffectual. Like, I mean, obviously he didn't go to Villa, fair enough, and they're in a lot of PSR troubles, whatever, but go to Villa and play good football rather than go to Spurs. It's just a mess all the time. It's just like, I feel sorry for Spurs fans, to be honest, that they're just like, at least Everton, you know your shit. Spurs like got that promising thing, like, you know, this could be the year. I mean, I had them down as title challengers.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was you. I remember you saying that after they beat Everton, and they were terrible that day. They just squeezed Everton.
I like to go out on a whim on many occasions, and if 1 in 10 lands, clip it up, get it viral, son.
Speaking of wimps, when's Sean back on? Oh, that one's for the Twitch listeners. My problem with that Gallagher signing, because again, I also really like that Gallagher, but he's a bit like that Palhinha. He was involved in that scrapping, which was great, I thought, the other day. He's obviously a very good player, but he's like sort of what they're accusing Spurs of, and that Frank, that they don't want to score. That Gallagher, he's not going to like make or score goals, he's just a scrapper in the middle. Like, I obviously would never have come to Everton. I'd loved him at Everton because like Garner Gay's getting a bit old, and I think he would be great for Everton. He's better than Garner Gay, but yeah, I just think that's nowhere. Yeah, I disagree with your points about Spurs and Everton. I put them similar sort of branch. The only thing they've got is a better ground, but yeah, I know what you mean. That there is a point. Them and Man United
team, their starting 11 compared to Everton's is much better.
Yeah, no, probably is.
Yeah, Spurs just have that thing about them, don't they? Everton's Spursy. Have you ever word to describe who you are? Club?
Gallagher is Spursy.
Yeah,
like he just is. Yeah.
I mean, they don't want to attack the front options they've got. Richarlison, I hate as a footballer. I don't think he's a serious footballer. I know Everton fans have a soft spot for him, but he's the guy leading your line. You're not going to beat many teams with him. It's just main centre forward. Obviously, I think Solanke's injured, isn't he?
He came on Saturday for the first time.
Colin Moani, they loaned. Xavi Simons, they've got in. Like, I just don't think there's much about them going forward. I mean, losing James Maddison, he's so injury prone. He hasn't really settled in at all, has he? Really, it's a big loss. But yeah, they're just going to continue to be nothing really.
They did sort of look. I watched the second half, and they actually, for the first time in a while, they actually just like went for it, and they were actually quite good, and they could have easily like equalised there. And Villa were more than deserving of the win, but I think Spurs fans are saying there's just nothing about them, and I think they sort of, I know they had nothing to lose, 2-0 down in the cup, but Yeah, again, like Tottenham are historically quite a big FA Cup team as well. So like for their fans of a certain age, that'll be a thing for them. Like you don't go out in the third rounds of the FA Cup. Like Tottenham were known as a cup team in like the 70s and 80s.
It's such a good there's this era of football where like Arsene Wenger started just playing all the kids and everyone else did the same. And well, go back to like Man United not taking part in the FA Cup, didn't he? What was it, 99 after you won the treble?
Yeah, it
You
must
went
have
to
been
the World
2001. Yeah,
Cup instead. People are just not taking it as serious, but it's such a good opportunity to win a trophy. If you're serious about it, you can go deep into the competition, and then if you're lucky, like City, you play some average teams along the way and make the final, which has happened a few times,
every
hasn't it?
time.
Every time. I think Bradford won you in a semi-final. You can get lucky and go the whole way, but it just doesn't really work out as much anymore, I suppose. Liverpool, Griffin, did you watch it?
Yeah, I did watch it. Yeah, I thought. I mean, to be honest with Liverpool at the moment, I'm watching, but I'm almost not watching. I'm not even bothered how we do. And I thought Grimsby. No, not Grimsby. Barnsley. Sorry, Grimsby. What Barnsley?
Honestly.
Yeah, I thought they looked good. They deserved the result. They should have scored within 5 minutes when that fella at the post.
Yeah.
The guy on the left wing, Ali McCoy, gave him man of the match. Ali McCoy was raving about him, like absolutely raving about him, which I thought was quite funny. But
He's got to rave about something, though. Ali McCoy says, and if he's not raving about something, he's not having a good time.
good point. I thought he was going to get John Parrott down as a co-host at one point, but no. Yeah, Liverpool are just fed up with. I can't even be bothered with them, to be honest.
Yeah, I have a similar feeling. Sorry, wasn't focused. I have a similar feeling around Liverpool. It's just the news that Xabi Alonso got resigned from Real Madrid. It's very interesting. I sort of want to keep giving an Arne Slot the rest of the year, maybe, but I wouldn't be disappointed if they do let him go and just get Xabi Alonso straight away.
Yeah, I think last night, like, it goes without saying almost, but if they would have got beat last night, I think that they might have gone, oh, come on. Yeah. I think they're just waiting for a run or something, or, if given to the end of the season, so be it, take the season as just a loss, but it's just so devoid of everything. It's just, I can't even, I almost don't even want to talk. What if Bill could talk about them all the time, and they don't deserve our attention at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, let's not talk about the game, but we'll talk about. I want to talk about Xabi Alonso though, because I feel like if they don't show interest to him and say like we want to come for you at the end of the season, someone else is going to get him. Well, I've heard Man City are interested in him, and possibly Bayern Munich as well.
I think the biggest thing about like Alonso leaving and Real Madrid as a club, like if you watch them clips, obviously from the weekend.
So bad.
Who is going to take that job? I know obviously Arbeloa was in. I don't know if that's interim, I guess, and obviously he's in and around the club. But the clips of Mbappe and like who he thinks he is to do that, and the players supporting it, are just like it's almost everything that's wrong with modern day football and just modern day society.
What's he done? I haven't seen that.
So Alonso wants to go and take the players over to give a guard of honour to the fans, or to Barca. So I think he's going over. Oh right, okay. So he's trying to arrange that. Alonso's cut. Like beckoning the players, and Mbappe is the other side of the pitch going, no, don't. And he walks off and the players follow him. So Alonso's just stood there going like, what's going on? And obviously he left the same night. But like Mbappe, who does he think he is? Like, and I can't imagine, the only person I can imagine going in and saying to, I know Enrique, there's that clips of when he was at PSG, sat him down and, gave him a good bollocking, would be Klopp.
I think he'll struggle though, Well, I know not struggle. I think he's a good enough manager to control the egos and
just need to. I'd get rid of Mbappe. I'd say see you later. No chance.
Well, they didn't really need him. They just won the Champions League the year before. I think
shift him off to Saudi. If that's the way you want to be, just go make a fortune. You don't deserve it because
Has he scored a ridiculous amount of goals though? Playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, but he always does, doesn't he? But like at the point the year before. Vinny Juniors was almost a Ballon d'Or winner playing left wing, and Mbappe comes in. You didn't really need him.
He's just a bad apple. Apple, and Bellingham is going to turn out the same way. Vinicius obviously got an attitude problem. Rodrigo's kicking off. That Arda Güler's got problems. get rid of the bad apple. That's what I've said it in every business I've worked in, Tosh, and you know that.
Sean O'Hara, the yellow bad apple.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Again, though, you say about
Sorry,
Alonso
Sean.
and Mbappe, who's he think he is? Like, Mbappe is bigger than Alonso. Like, he just is.
But that's that. No, Alonso's hired as the manager, even head coach.
I agree, yeah, but I'm saying like Mbappe is in every way bigger than Alonso. Like
No, that's what's wrong with football nowadays.
Of course.
So I just stop it.
A few weeks ago, Gareth Bale was on CBS Sports here as a pundit.
Saw that.
Yeah, and he was talking about how like Xabi Alonso's coaching more than he is managing, and Real Madrid need a manager, someone who just controls the egos and sends them out there essentially. Which you can obviously see, like on the sideline, he's just overcoaching, overthinking everything. I feel sorry for him, but at least he's gone out on his own values and said, "No, I'm resigning." Before you,
yeah.
Was he tarnished by it? Do you think?
No, because I think I said last week. Can you name me many Real Madrid managers before Ancelotti and Zidane in that 20-year period at Galacticos? They just go through managers like nothing, don't they?
I said Aragonis, who's actually never managed Real Madrid, so
Was it just name as many as you can?
No,
50.
I was just thinking about football manager, like top managers, like Del Bosque was a good example. Yeah. I even think so I don't think Alonso's reputation is damaged because the club. I don't even like Amorim, just got to go jump to Man United. I don't even think his reputation is damaged. I think it's the club. Like Real Madrid and Man United are good examples of the club. Like Thomas Frank, if he leaves Tottenham, his reputation won't be damaged. I don't think, because they're just managing clubs that are just a joke. And Real Madrid's obviously the biggest club in the world, no doubt about it. But Alonso was the man. Like he was like Florian Wirtz in manager form. You know what I mean? The hottest property. You get the best man. He used to play for him. He's played for everyone in the world. He's an unbelievable Spanish legend. And he's gone after 6 months because Mbappe doesn't want him. It's just pathetic. It does my head in.
I suppose we can move on to Manchester United. Actually, just announced Carrick is taking over.
Yeah.
Till the end of the season, it's just another one in it. Like he got let go by Middlesbrough in the Championship, finishing 10th, and now he's managing one of the other biggest clubs in the world, in Manchester United. I just kind of laugh at them. I feel where did he go from here? Tosh, what do you think on Manchester United? I know we discussed it last week, Griffin, a little bit, but
yeah, no, I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? You just feel a bit like the biggest basket case of them all, really, isn't it? No one really seems to know what's going on at the top. I watched Scholes and Butt talking about it when Amorim was sacked on their podcast last week. And even there, they just don't know what they're like. I think they came to the solution of something like Carrick, Fletcher with Steve Bruce overlooking them. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. And
Nicky Buster, Roy Keane as well, yeah.
And Paddy McGuinness is you just made perfect sense there. It's like, no, in what world is them three managing Manchester United perfect sense, except this world, which is I don't know. I just feel there's starting to grow resentments up above with Ratcliffe and people like that. And what I didn't really realise was obviously the two people like Barada and Wilcox, they're obviously both quite City related. So I don't know you see it, but Nicky Butt was he seemed to be very anti-City, and he was saying because he said about getting Maresca.
Yeah. He said
because obviously with Maresca's City links, he was saying if he did that, I'd give me season ticket in, because they just don't want to become trying to be City. So. Yeah, I honestly don't know. Carrick, again, I don't watch a lot of Championship football. I still think he came out of Middlesbrough quite highly regarded, for trying to get them to play football. And obviously he did it temporarily. So I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. But I don't know. If you ask me now, who would they appoint in the summer? I honestly I wouldn't even know where he'd go. Because they've tried all the different things, haven't they?
Do you not just think it's I think it's Oliver Kay wrote how defeatist it is for Man United now, though. As in, it's halfway through the season. It's not the end of the season. Not 5 games to go. Not even 10 games to go. They've already said we'll just write the season off. I'm not saying it. But why not go after the targets that are available? Why not go after Tuchel? Why not go after Enrique? Why not try and pull someone out? I think Enrique is a potential shout for in the summer. I know I said last week Tuchel. I even think Southgate. It's written that Southgate would. I would not be surprised one bit if Southgate's a manager of Man United, and that type of what he did with the culture of England and all that stuff. I think the Carrick appointment it stinks of just like someone who understands the club. You know what we spoke about, the DNA and all that stuff that we spoke about last week. It makes sense, I suppose, to just go back to that and try it. But Michael Carrick as the manager of Man United, it's just like
it's crazy. Yeah.
It's just
going back to that. So like we had a comment on TikTok actually, which I wanted to read out from Diggsy's Lasagna. Great name. He said we need to push.
Oasis link. You got the jumper on.
What?
It's an Oasis link.
There you go. Yeah.
I was there, Diggsy, son.
He said we need to push all ex-United players and managers, bar a few, well away from the club because they are stunting our ability to go forward by influencing shit decisions and slagging us off all the time in the media. I mean, he's pretty much
get Diggsy.
What's your language, Diggsy? Come on,
say Diggsy. There's a space for a host because the other one bottled it. Get him on. I think he's got a point. Roy Keane said it on Sky. You know, Ferguson's hanging around like a bad smell, and Fletcher was asking him about decisions to make and stuff like that. It's just like, but if you were one of them players going in like Carrick, Fletcher, you would go to Ferguson because he's like the only one who ever made it work. So I do agree with.
It also shows how out of depth they are to be managers at Manchester United, that they have to go to someone who'd been there.
Well, yeah, true, yeah. It is just the biggest mess you can ever imagine from top to bottom. And obviously now, as Tosh said, the turn on Ratcliffe. I can understand why. Amarin's cost them 28 million in fees to buy him and to get rid of him.
Jeez.
Something like that. And then obviously they spent how much? 140 million. Apparently Amarin wanted Watkins, Amarin wanted Martinez. They didn't get any of them. It's just a mess.
Suppose to kick off it. I read somewhere that because they bid for Semenyo, didn't they? And obviously then he went to City. So Amarin was saying, well, can I have that 65 million then for something else? And they were like, no.
Yeah. It makes sense, doesn't it? Absolutely. Well, yeah.
But I think that was more of a case of, we're not giving it to you again, like with you. But yeah.
But Amarin also got hired on the understanding, and everyone said it in the media, like, he plays 3-5-2. He plays 3 at the back. They know that. That is his system. And it does not suit Man United. Or it doesn't suit what. So now, after a year, they go, oh, no, adapt, change, adapt. And Gary Neville in the media, adapt. No, that's his style. That's what he got bought in to do. It doesn't work, and never was going to work, so don't ever hire him. So it's on Ratcliffe and Wilcox and all them idiots, isn't it?
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head like last week, and even this time, like saying, as soon as Man United don't do well, it's in the media, and it's all the same guys. It's Neville, it's on the overlap, Roy Keane, whoever. And they get to this cycle then where they do affect the decision, bring in someone like Carrick and Fletcher. And now what's going to happen is it's going to be poor again, and now they're not going to say anything because they don't want to offend their mate, like they did with Solskjaer.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same cycle. Then they'll get someone else in who's going to change, and it just never changes. But yeah, the club as a whole is a bit of a mess, isn't it? Which is great to see, to be honest. All right, we'll leave it there. Talking about the weekend, we're going to move on to our game.